Hello everyone, Risky Toothpick here, back again with some more Sherlock Holmes, The Awakened. And today we're going to try to figure out who killed her. And apparently we've reached a dead end, so let's search around here. Ooh, like right in the eye, that's nasty.
The pencil is buried deep all the way to the brain. Instant death.
She deserved it though. She was brutal. I mean, she took the past director and did terrible things to him.
No traces of blood on her clothes. Must have got on her white overcoat. The patients here wear the same robes.
And we saw a doll on the table, so it might have been Heidi. Or the girl that had her.
Heidi, how did it end up here?
We'd better inform the local police about this.
You're right, Watson. But first, we need to determine where our case goes next.
Okay, so it looks like we're ready to do some stuff here. Where does the evidence lead next? It's all these. Well, we have a letter from New Orleans. Maybe her diary and telegram from New Orleans. Because we know we're going to New Orleans. Maybe a handwritten letter? Several pieces of evidence now point to New Orleans. It appears that the kidnappers have enlisted the services of the banking house of E.W. Gray to sell gems. Nice, so we got this all taken care of.
We've got what we needed, Watson. This conspiracy reaches further than we thought. I don't suppose you've ever been to New Orleans?
You are joking.
I seldom do. Let's go. There's no time to waste.
That's right, we done solved the case.
There's nothing in this world that cannot be explained with logic and reason. Nothing in this world.
Holmes?
Hmm?
You seem troubled.
I'm not troubled, Watson. I am preoccupied.
That place was awful. Inhumane. It would be natural to experience some feelings of shock or fear.
Men reduced to gibbering imbeciles, numbed beyond recognition, powerless to help themselves. When a doctor does go wrong, they are the first of criminals. They have the nerve and they have the knowledge.
That woman did not deserve the title. Such casual cruelty for such selfish aims.
I knew another man like that once. He treated my mother, perhaps even killed her, depending on who you ask.
My sincere condolences.
In the end, she was just a shadow of herself. The outline of the person I recognized, but lacking all else. She was pushed until she cracked. Should you see me cracking, John, I must ask you to intervene.
Nothing compels us to pursue this matter further, Sherlock. We can return to London, report what we have discovered. Let more capable hands take over.
Alas, there are no such hands. Were we to abandon our quest now, I fear no other would succeed in our stead.
We know nothing of what awaits, what dangers lurk in the darkness.
Nonsense. We draw nearer to New Orleans with every passing minute, and thus closer to the answers we seek. Those answers, for all their perversity and improbability, will, nevertheless, be the work of men. And that is a work I have studied well.
So be it.
I know you to be a diligent author, but if I may make one request. Kindly omit my mother and her suffering from your tale.
Of course.
Thank you, John.
He was nice for that. Now will he, actually keep it out or not? Who knows? Oh. Look at that lady. I'm assuming we're the outsiders here.
Ah, Holmes. After our trip to nippy Switzerland, I can certainly use some of this New World heat.
Do not get carried away, Watson. What we could certainly use are answers to my questions.
I know, but you look exhausted. Why didn't we find the hotel first?
We shall rest when our investigation is over, and not a moment sooner. I shall ask you to handle our bags while I search for the bank.
As you wish. Oi! Stop it, you! Our luggage!
Dang.
Good Lord, what have you done? That's my stuff.
I'm sorry, mister. It was an accident.
It's an accident and like all of the suitcases are open.
It's fine, it's fine. I'll just put everything back. Where are the socks?
Very interesting. Alrighty, so we need to put this. Pieces of evidence are leading to New Orleans. Seems that the kidnappers are using the service of the banking house.
May I ask you something?
Oh, I know this. Yeah, let me help you.
The bank can be found on the street up from the port on the left side of the Harbor Master building, opposite Chinatown. Alrighty, and it looks like we might have some side missions here too, so we'll keep an eye out. Fine
Black
gemstones.
opals being auctioned at the banking house of E.W. Gray.
And we've already seen that. Or we've already seen like writings about them selling gems. Let's see what else we can find around here. Harbor Master's office. Looks like we got some things here. Missing Sun Tao, 34, last seen in Chinatown, New Orleans Sheriff's Department. Whoa. A lot of people went missing.
Our ship leaves tomorrow morning. No room for sightseeing then. More people missing here, too.
Very strange. But they were probably sending people from New Orleans to that place in Switzerland. We'll go this way, just kind of explore a little bit. Yeah, look at them horses, having a good time.
Can I ask you a question?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, we've already figured out all the information for this mission, so we just need to find Chinatown. Oh, that's the police department. Basil Bathbone Tobacco. I'm pretty sure once we get close to the area, it'll be like a fast travel point. What do we have here? Giddy Gator Bar. Let's check that out. Maybe there's a gator. Oh, it's a rough looking place. Guessing this is the bar. Creole Quarter. Oh, we found Chinatown. So it's across from Chinatown. Let's move this way. Might be this big building right here. It is. We have found our way to the banking house. They might not let us in. This guy's got a gun.
Mr. Frank Barnaby, right? Auction's about to start.
Alright, we get to check this guy out. Myopia. Abe Lincoln alive. There's a sandwich in his pocket. That's weird. Let's say he's a critical thinker because, you know, he's got some fancy things here. The guard at the bank is a real character. Storing a sandwich in his pocket to save time while reading Abe Lincoln Alive makes him a critical thinker who questions everything, even the truth. Myopia is a result of constant reading to the detriment of one's health. Ooh. Do we lie? I don't know. But he probably wouldn't even believe us anyways. And we won't lie.
You have me mistaken, sir. My name...
If you ain't Frank Barnaby, you ain't coming in.
Listen, the fate of many lives is at stake.
I'm sure it is.
So, not going to let me in then?
No name, no invitation, no entry.
Yeah, but we've already learned that he doesn't like really believe in the truth.
Any luck?
None. They're holding an auction, invitation only. The good news is, I know who might have one. We need to find Mr. Barnaby.
Who?
Frank Barnaby, most likely a local.
And you think Mr. Barnaby will be happy to share his invitation?
Let us first find him, then we can see if he is the generous type.
Alright, so we just need to talk to a few people here, and somebody might know what we're looking for. Not that guy, though.
May I ask you something?
I've heard about that. Let me tell you.
The locals say that he owns a shop in Chinatown called Barnaby Hidden Gems. Alrighty, let's go into Chinatown.
How marvelous, Holmes. A city within a city.
Indeed, those lanterns are delightful. It is as though we have been transported to the Orient itself.
Where would you hide hidden gems? We've already kind of gone through. We've been to the Gator Bar, so it looks like we might need to turn down that one alley. Kind of makes sense. I mean, this girl looks like
Can I
sick.
ask you a question?
I'm sorry. You should search for answers somewhere else.
Oh, we found it. Hidden gems. Looks like we can look through the window.
Rather unassuming for a jewelry store.
They're not buying jewels.
He at it again. Barnaby still owes you. If he can't pay in greenbacks, he'll pay in blood.
Looks like we can talk to more people.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm bone tired, but yeah, I'll help you.
Two gentlemen say that Barnaby owes them money. He is a known alcoholic and is currently getting drunk at a local bar called the Giddy Gator in the Creole Quarter. He can be recognized by a yellow hat and a green jacket. We've already been there, so we know exactly where that's at. Try not to get stuck here.
This
Alrighty.
place. There's a Spartan charm, does it not?
It does. My soul will always yearn for London's gloom, but it reminds me of Cordona in a nice way.
Yeah, during this time period, the New World wasn't as developed, so not as much smog running around. Weirdly enough, he's not there. Maybe he's sitting outside. Or maybe he's dead. That'd be pretty funny. I mean, not funny, but sad. I'm just like beating this guy up on accident by running into him.
Is this familiar to you?
What makes you think I can be of any help?
Just looking for him. I hear somebody. Yes, kitty. And there's cats, pigs, everything you'd want. Shouldn't be that guy. Oh, this guy.
Barnaby, unconscious but with his eyes open.
Oh, that's weird. Mr. Barnaby, the banking house of E.W. Gray invites you to participate in a closed auction. We are pleased to present a selection of rare and extraordinary black opals for sale. Please contact our employee to receive more information. We strongly urge you to wear the cleanest suit you have and be sober. One more unacceptable incident and we will exclude you from our little list of buyers. Nice. So we need to wear a nice little suit.
Look, Watson, the two of you are just alike.
Oh, great. So I look like a haggard alcoholic. Eureka! What have you got?
An idea. First, we'll need Mr. Barnaby's clothes.
Holmes.
Watson, time is of the essence. You will go to the bank, not as yourself, but as Frank Barnaby.
Holmes, we look nothing alike.
The hat and coat will do the heavy lifting. Just stay cool, play the part, and no one will notice the difference. Trust me.
Holmes, must we really indulge in this farce?
It worked in Switzerland, didn't it?
Sure, if you redefine the word worked.
This yellow and green is just such a weird color combination. I'm like, who would wear this? And I like green. Green's my favorite color. So like when I look at this, I'm
Where's
like,
my cash, Frank? In the bartender's tip jar?
oh, everyone thinks he's Frank. Meaning he's probably someone's gonna try to beat him up probably because he owes money.
Where's the money, Barnaby?
Yeah, he owes a lot of people money apparently.
I'll wait here so as not to arouse suspicion.
Alrighty, let's get in.
Mr. Barnaby.
Right you are. Shop owner.
Right. Your invitation, sir?
Here you go.
You okay, sir? Seem to have the jumps.
I'm in a rush.
Come on in.
Yeah, that guy's very suspicious.
Heavens, I never seen gems so big.
I simply must have them.
Dang, those are some big gems. Could you think of like if you had like a wealthy, you know, early family members, grandparents who bought like giant gems and they just have them in their house somewhere? That'd be awesome. The banking house of E.W. Gray will be hosting a closed auction of black opals. The bank doesn't disclose the origin of that rare stone. However, the bank clerk, Miss Zoe Clemens, has confirmed the authenticity of each stone. Australia, 40 carats, rarest stone believed to be a piece of a shattered space rock. Oh, we heard about that. It was in a newspaper or something.
Sorry, I'm just dealing with another client's request. Please wait a moment.
Can I ask you a question?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So there's really nothing for us to do. Where can we go? Maybe we need to talk to somebody.
Do you know anything about this?
I'm so sorry. I can't be of help.
Could you help me?
I'm sorry, but I've never heard of that.
Could you help me?
It isn't possible for me to help you. I'm sorry.
Alrighty. We are missing something though. Oh, here we go.
They're so black, it's like they absorb light. Rather hypnotic.
I know. Exciting, ain't it? I'll be right with you.
Okay, so we're just missing like one more thing maybe. Oh, there's some cash right there.
This might be useful. I'll make a note.
The banking house of E.W. Gray thanks its fine philanthropists Dillard, French Quarter, Arneson, Thomas, H. Carter, Chambers, Clemens, Ingle, Hartnett, and Howlett. Oh, that was a lot of information right there. Oh, she's ready.
Morning, sir, and welcome to the E.W. Gray Banking House. The auction will begin shortly. Name's Zoe Clemens, and I'd be delighted to help you.
Pleasure to meet you, Miss Clemens. I am Frank Barnaby. I do have some questions, if you don't mind.
Let's talk about the stones.
These gems are rather curious. What can you tell me about them?
These rare beauties are black opals, all the way from Coober Pedy, South Australia. When they catch the light, the dark stone becomes a brilliant rainbow. It's something special.
Forgive my curiosity, but who was the previous owner?
Sir, I ain't at liberty to disclose them details.
It doesn't say where these stones came from. No provenance, no previous owner. I'm starting to suspect they were illegally procured.
What? We would never. I can assure you these gems were bought from one of New Orleans' most upstanding citizens, a philanthropist no less. If you would like to know more, I could get my manager.
You old dog, Barnaby. Didn't think you'd sober up for the auction. An hour ago, you were 3 sheets to the wind.
Oh, you know, I hold my liquor better than most. And the auction was an important business opportunity.
An important business opportunity? Ha! What have you done with the real Barnaby?
Well, maybe I'm drunker than I thought, mister.
Mister? What's wrong, Frank? You're looking pale. Don't you recognize your old pal, Grub?
Alrighty, let's look at the sheriff. Oversized. Position of power. Proud or poser. Cares for appearance. Polished nails. Fashionable or hates getting dirty. Ooh, either one of these would work. Let's do toothless dog. Sheriff Grubb is actually a barking, toothless dog. The man attempts to make the impression that he is an important figure in the life of New Orleans. However, he is just a small cog in the governmental machine. In fact, the sheriff feels so uncomfortable and displeased with his role that he tries to compensate with ridiculous tournaments, fashionable looks, and threatening behavior.
Sorry, Sheriff, but I don't have time for this.
Now, Frank, when I'm talking to you, everything else waits. If I want to talk, you talk. If I say jump, you say off which pier. Do we understand each other?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, while I have you, there's the matter of your outstanding fines. I've been more than reasonable, but I'm afraid the bills come due.
Fines? Right. I'm afraid I don't have anything on me.
That's funny. Ain't you at the auction? I weren't born yesterday, Frank. Now, assault, battery, disorderly conduct, that's serious stuff. You got off easy, but if you don't pay up, things get a whole lot worse.
Look, Sheriff, I'm not actually...
Whoa. Think careful now, 'cause Frank Barnaby only owes us cash. But fraud, impersonation, that's weasel behavior. And you know what we do to weasels round these parts. Feed 'em to the gators. So, Frank, what's it gonna be?
Here's all I have.
Mighty fine of you. The people of this parish deserve peace. They don't take kindly to visitors. Don't miss that boat tomorrow morning, Doctor.
We're gonna have to take down that sheriff. Meeting the sheriff.
told you, Holmes. I told you it was a bad plan. Now we're penniless and wanted criminals.
Hysteria gets us nowhere, Watson. Tell me what happened.
The sheriff saw right through me. He knew who I was from the start. Extorted me for every coin I had.
Bah, all that matters is what you learned about the gems.
I shan't discuss it while still wearing that blighter's clothes. I'm going back to the boat to get changed.
Alrighty, time to go get changed. And he's following us, alrighty. Meeting the sheriff. The sheriff seems to be an individual that might have his hand in the cookie jar. Dang, there's a horse just laying here. But yeah, the sheriff looks like he might be involved with the higher-ups here. They probably pay him to look the other way. Typical stuff. Especially back then, it's kind of more common. Whoa. What the?
Oh, bollocks, now our clothes are in the bloomin' water.
It was like the luggage had legs of its own. Oh, Mr. Pratchett will have my head.
I ain't sure what you did to the sheriff, but it must have been something real hairy to have him chuck your luggage off the pier.
With respect, miss, have we met before?
If you were the real Frank Barnaby, yeah, we would have. But where are my manners? I'm Lucy. And you are?
John. I didn't mean to be rude. I've just had a difficult day, miss.
Well, it's barely noon. And you've already made an enemy in Sheriff Grubb. The man starves his gators just in case someone crosses him. John who?
Watson.
Well, Johnny, if you plan on sticking around, you better change that suit, or Frank's reputation will catch up with you. And then you'll be a John Doe.
Alas, I think one of those gators is currently devouring my spare clothes.
You've got yourself in a fine pickle. All right, come on board the Nymph of Louisiana, and I'll sort you something to wear.
The nymph? Is that what it sounds like? Why are you helping me?
Well, let's just say you ain't the only one who's had run-ins with the sheriff. Way I see it, this city deserves better. Now quit your stalling and head on over to the Nymph. I'll be in room 6.
This Mr. Barnaby is proving rather useful. Perhaps you're not so different after all.
One more word, Holmes, and I'll hand you over to the sheriff.
Sorry, was that John talking or Frank?
Oh, go annoy someone else while I visit the nymph.
Alrighty, let's go meet John's girlfriend from the nymph. Looks like this girl might stop us here.
Always a pleasure to see you regular, Mr. Barnaby. Welcome home.
Dang, most of the people don't even know who he is. Like, they're like, oh. Okay, so we got 1, 2.
Can I ask you a question?
No, I've never heard of it. But I can help you with something else.
Oh yeah, she can help us with something else, alright. Oh, here we go, 6.
Well, look at you. All dressed up with nowhere to go.
I can't thank you enough. As I was saying, our journey has hardly gone to plan. We seem no closer to finding our missing people than when we left.
Well, if there were anything to know, Champagne'll know it. She's across everything in New Orleans. Look for her in the fisherman's village behind the Creole Quarter.
Thank you again, Lucy. I shall make my way there now.
Good luck, Johnny. Keep out of trouble.
Yeah, she likes him. Okay, so it looks like we can talk to people to kind of get some more information.
Oh, forgive me, Watson. The difference is plain as day. What a remarkable transformation from Barnaby.
If we're critiquing wardrobes, Holmes, maybe you can explain why you used to roll just one sleeve up. Did you get bored halfway through?
Alrighty. So we already know it's past the Creole. We've been there a few times.
Excuse me, just one question.
I've heard about that, let me tell you.
People have said that Champagne lives in the fisherman's quarter in a hut on a boat. She owns 2 dogs. Good to know. We'll go this way because this should probably is the quickest way there. We can probably just go this way because this looks like the rough side of town. This looks like the fisherman village. Here's the Gator Bar. See if we can find a boat with 2 dogs. Did I hear a gator? Ooh, look at that gator. Dang. Yeah, you don't want to get eaten by that.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
Are you all right, sir?
It'll come again. I will die.
What happened?
The lower of death came to me last night. I know it will come again.
Let's start from the beginning. My name is Sherlock Holmes. Could you describe last night's events for me?
I'm Cole Seabrook. It was my mom, Brigitte. She came to me in the shape of a giant black rooster. Before that, some hit the wall outside. Then she came in. She took my will and she led me to the water.
Perhaps you were dreaming?
I wish I was. The great gator was there. It called me and I couldn't resist, but then the spell broke and I managed to crawl ashore.
Interesting.
I know how it sounds to an outsider, but it was the lower of death and it ain't finished with me.
You mentioned a lower. What is that exactly?
You outsiders only know one God. But there are many and we call them lowers. And Maman Brigitte is one of them. She is the lower of death and life. She heals the righteous and punishes the guilty.
Did you feel anything apart from fear last night?
Yeah. The signs of Maman's presence, no doubt about it. Everything became blurry and my mouth was dry and the light became very bright.
That is something.
He was probably drugged.
There are too many imprints here. It's hard to say where he did or didn't go.
Alrighty, time to investigate.
Supper leftovers.
I mean, you can't go, what was that, chicken and carrots? I mean, that's not bad.
It's not a simple tea. A herbal concoction, rather.
Black tea seems not to be very popular here.
I'm not a real big tea drinker myself. That's kind of bitter.
Cheap and strong brew. Some chewing tobacco leaves. Judging by the facial features, Cole and one of his relatives.
To be honest, they really don't look that much alike. They have two different noses.
With William in Shreveport, 1879.
Ooh, man, look at that fish.
He dropped a cup here. This one is almost odorless.
So he's got a whole bunch of herbs here.
Sweet. Interesting. I will take it just in case.
I would love to learn more about these.
Mix in equal proportions, goldenrod, strawberry leaves, jasmine flowers.
The healing properties of some herbs are truly amazing, Holmes.
And some are extremely dangerous. Coal ground herbs here.
Alrighty. We're just missing one more thing. Looks like we've almost done everything here.
Are you a good fisherman, Cole?
I wouldn't say so, sir.
A feather. Not black, however.
Did you really expect to find the feather of rock here?
Okay, let's see what we got here. He was unstable.
More boot prints here.
Crawled. Alrighty. Now we can try to figure out what happened. Oh. We're gonna go with the first one because he was unstable. That seems to be the case. Let's go with the first one. Maybe he wasn't forced, he was just stumbling. Let's go with eating food. Oh, a chicken. That would be funny. Alright, let's validate it. Let's see what we missed. the chicken one. He just failed? Did pretty good though.
Cole was having dinner. He was alone. The herbal decoction started to affect him. He became dizzy and dropped the cup. Hallucinations and stimulation brought him outside. He could have drowned if not for the sobering effects of the cold water.
Alrighty, let's talk to him.
Sir?
Cole, I am sure that you were alone last night. The Lowers were not with you.
Well, what else could you say?
I didn't say that I disbelieve you. I'm wondering about this recipe.
It's just herbal tea. I went to Mr. Samdi and he gave me the recipe to help calm my heart.
Is he a doctor?
He is a voodooist. It was risky, but all I wanted was some sleep.
Where can I find him?
On the side of the church at one of the entrances to the Fisherman's Quarter. Look for a Veve sign, but watch what you say. He has the power of voodoo.
I'll be careful.
Alrighty. The voodooist has been causing some problems for people around here. We need to talk to a few people.
Yeah. May I ask for your assistance?
Sorry, mister. Can't help you. Ask someone else.
Could you help me?
I've heard about that. Let me tell you.
The locals seem to respect Samidi, despite him being a little strange. He helps people with their health problems, can give advice, resolve disputes, and can also remove slander and hexes. This looks like a church, so maybe he's out here?
Excuse me, just one question.
What makes you think I can be of any help?
Yeah, someone's dead. We can't go any further that way. Wanted Jennifer Black Widow Pritchett for baking and selling pies with human meat. Ooh.
Look, Watson, what have we here? A local crime star.
A star? You have a strange way with words. Frankly, we have more pressing matters.
I'm not going after these troublemakers, but the posters will add nicely to my collection of criminal profiles. I read a study that suggests facial features can determine a person's tendency towards cruelty or deviant behavior.
Well, you can't stop progress.
This kind of looks like the voodoo guy. Dear Mr. Holmes, I knew that when you heard about voodoo, you would be immediately skeptical. This world is not what it seems. I find it strange that in your journey you are still in disbelief. I'm sorry that I won't be there when you come for me. I would love to help open your eyes. I presume you wanted to ask me about the recipe you found at Cole's house. Knowing of his tragedy, I told him to brew an infusion from these herbs. The effect of that infusion are solace and mollification. If you don't believe me, read this book. There are the answers that you seek. May the spirits be with you, Mr. Holmes. Samidi. After you find what you're seeking, please return the tomb. Some books can do bad things if they fall into the wrong hands. Let me, get rid of all this. Cole Seabrooks. Large white flowers, green leaves. Maybe we go back and talk to the Cole guy? I like that alligator though.
Sir?
I must ask you, did you have a drink last night?
No, sir, I didn't take a sip. It all happened before I went to bed, and I only drink to fall asleep. That's just how it is lately.
Interesting. Maybe we can ask about the plants?
Oh, no two ways about it.
Huh. I'm assuming we need to find like a book with information on plants. Ooh, what the?
We have a feathered friend in the case. Poor bird crashed against Cole's house. The damage is recent.
Finding out more and more about this mission. Okay, well, we didn't just talk to people with this one. Oh, actually, hold on.
Your boat is wrecked. What happened?
Well, I stumbled over a cypress root.
You'd need some force to cause that damage.
Yeah, and to be really down on your luck.
Very strange. Let's go talk to more people.
Help me, please.
I've heard about that. Let me tell you.
Cole's neighbors saw him that night, and when he left the house, they thought he was drunk. Cole was alone. No spirits were observed. So we might be able to talk to him more.
Yes.
I'm cursed, sir. There's nothing you can do about it.
Alright, let's go to the herbs.
Are you able to help me?
No, I not heard about that. Sorry.
Who can help us with this mission? We might be able to read the book, maybe? We haven't finished them though. Well, we were past the 40-minute mark, so we probably need to stop here anyway. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the links below. Next time we'll solve this mystery. How do we get over there? Oh, I hear the two dogs though. Oh, this is the girl we're looking for too for the main mission. But yeah, we'll solve this mystery and try to figure out how to figure out what these plants are. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all again in the next one. Look at that gator.